Yeah, big game, obviously, especially with the way that the past 2 weeks have kind of turned out. Kind of positioned ourselves. It's good to be 1-1 in the conference right now. There's a big tie among a bunch of one-loss teams in the conference. So, we've kind of got an opportunity here. To create our own destiny with the way the rest of the conference schedule goes. So very excited. We got a lot of things going on Saturday for the game. I think we're going to do a whiteout for the game. Be a very good atmosphere, and it's always fun. This game is made for a very entertaining game in the past. With these two teams, I think Coach Simpson does a tremendous job, especially developing talent. And there's no shortage of that this year. Watching them on tape, and so it should make for quite a Saturday.
When you watch them on tape, what is the biggest thing that jumps out about this year's team that might be different than last year's New York team?
I don't know as far as differences. I think they do a tremendous job. Like I said, developing talent. I think there's some kids on there that I know they took for little to no money, walk-on spots and things like that, and all of a sudden they've developed them into starting roles. They've done a really good job. They always do a really good job recruiting and getting new pieces to the puzzle, and those guys coming in and contributing right away for them. But I think that Coach Simpson just does a tremendous job developing talent down there, and they've done that this year. I know they've got a new quarterback, I think, this year. I haven't got a chance to watch him a lot, but just seeing him, I watched the game this weekend on the back porch and watching him go through some things. And then defensively, they're very big up front. They're a little multiple. They'll get into some odd front, some even front. And then on the back end, the biggest thing, the back end is they got a lot of guys that are very physical on the back end. They've got a lot of hitters, but they're the same old Skyhawk team, man. They're going to be very good at what they do. They're going to do what they do. They're going to be very multiple on offense, and defensively they're going to try to pressure you a little bit and put the pressure on the offense, especially in key downs and key field zones and things like that. They're going to try to come after you. So, as far as differences or anything taking you by surprise, I don't think you have to worry about that going into this week. I think they make it very obvious who they want to be and the way that they're going to play.
Coach, how is the off week better prepared your team for UT Martin, and are you guys the healthiest you've been in a while?
Yeah, I think that's the way that it's helped. If we had to play a game Saturday, we would have been in bad shape. I think like 4 or 5 concussion guys out, and just some bumps and bruises and some things like that. So I think it's the same for any team. Anytime you got a bye week, that's what helps you. That's how it helps you better prepare. One thing we do not do is we don't take all these extra days and install a bunch of extra stuff, for any opponent. We watched them a little bit. We prepared last Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday the same way we normally would. But with that being said, we haven't sat here and overcomplicated this thing and taken last Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then taken Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then yesterday and today, and just compiled a lot of stuff. Because if you're not careful, if you do that, you'll put too much on your kids and you'll overload your kids. And plus, you'll give your kids a sense of, man, we must have had to have done a lot of extra stuff just to have a chance to beat this team. You don't ever want to do that. So we're going to, the same way they do, we're going to do what we do, add some wrinkles here and there. But for the most part, that bye week just gave us a chance to heal up, recoup, recruit a little bit, and get ready and be fresh going into this week.
The way things have gone in practice has exhausted, has there been any changes to the depth chart?
No, not for the most part. I mean, we've always got changes. We're always day to day. The offensive guys, the offensive skill guys, they'll bounce around back and forth just depending on who had the best practice. Offensive line-wise, we'll do the same thing. Defensively in the secondary, we'll do the same thing. If somebody has a better practice, then they'll bump up, they'll move around. Based on other teams' personnel, you may move a guy to a certain spot because maybe he's a little bit better in coverage or whatever. But for the most part. We've got everybody in place. It's just a matter of who's going to start, who's going to be the backup, and that's a day-to-day evaluation process.
KD was in here mounting about last year, got off to a good start, and then they kind of rolled up.
Yeah.
He said turnover is a big key to this week, too.
No doubt. I'm glad to hear him say that because it's no secret in football. Turnovers is always a huge key, but especially in this game because I do think in the way this conference is going right now, I think that every week is going to be a nail biter. I really don't think you're going to have that week where somebody just pulls away or whatever the case may be. So I think turnover is going to be a huge key. We've looked up, tried to get some propaganda around the building for our kids. One interesting stat is if you go back past, I think we did it until from 2013 on. They're like 30 of 30 in the red zone, and 26 of those I think have been touchdowns. So obviously we've got to do some things there. They've held us a couple of those years. They've held us to some of our fewer outputs on offense. So there's a lot of things that we'll put around the building just to make sure. I'm wearing my UT Martin orange and blue today. Just to shove that in my kids' face a little bit when they come over for their academics. It's always a fun week, and me and Coach Simpson and we've got a great relationship. I love what he does down there, obviously we're two very competitive people, so we'll do what we can to make sure that our kids are ready to roll on Saturday.
But even, Martin's had all that success in the red zone against your team's been a lot, been better in the red zone defensively this season.
Yeah, and that's the reason why we'll put it up there, is so that our guys understand, what that can do, and what that can do for your chances to win, just so that our guys continue to have that mindset when they get down there in the red zone, our defense, when they get down in the red zone of, hey, just because they get down here doesn't mean they've got to score. And I think we've done a tremendous job at that. We've had four turnover on downs down there on the 2-yard line, 1-yard line. So I think that we've done a tremendous job of that defensively, and I want to make sure that continues. And there's a couple of things that we found that we'll put around the building just so they can see it on a daily basis.
Coach, running game kind of got going against Austin P. I know it's just one game, but is the running game in better shape in your eyes?
A little bit, like I said, it's just one game, but obviously that's a huge focus of ours. As much as we tend to throw it around and things like that, I've always said it's no secret. If you can't run, you can't pass it. And if you can't pass it, you can't run it. So you got to work on being balanced. And obviously, the previous games, I think a lot of our woes on offense was a direct reflect of the fact that we could not run the ball very well. And when you become one-dimensional, it gives that defense a chance to pin their ears back and come get you. And we've got to stay out of those situations. So we'll continue to try to balance that thing out and be more effective in both the run and the passing game.